Hello friends, today we are going to discuss unit first from pharmaceutical jurisprudence, that is Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 and its rules 1945. The term jurisprudence, it is derived from Latin term, that is jurisprudentia, which means the study, knowledge or science of law. This pharmaceutical jurisprudence course has been an integral part of pharmacy education, which includes the rules and regulations of pharmacy and pharmacy practices. Earlier, there were no separate professions of medicine and pharmacy. Physician prepare his own medicines. Then Shushruta and Charaka are the two great names in Ayurveda. Charak Samhita, which is still used in India. When Muslim came, they brought Unani, and when British came, when they ruled India, they introduced allopathic system of medicine. Next one is the Drug and Cosmetic Act. That is, it is passed in 1940 with the main object to regulate the import, manufacture, distribution, and sale of the drugs and cosmetics. These three terms are very important: import, manufacture, and distribution and sale. Objectives: first one is for preventing substandard in drugs, for controlling the import, manufacture, distribution, and sale of the drugs, then ensuring the manufacture, distribution, and sale of the drugs. Next one, the controlling the manufacture and sale of Ayurvedic, Siddha, and Unani drugs. Establishment of DTAV and DCC for allopathic and allied drugs and cosmetics. In last few years, cosmetics are widely used in the country and it is necessary to control their quality. Therefore, amended to make certain provisions related to cosmetics which regulates its import, manufacture, sale and distribution. Next term is the drug. Drug, it is the substance used as a components of a drug, including empty gelatin capsule, the substance other than food which may affect the structure or any function of the human body or used for the destruction of insect or vermin which cause disease in human beings or animals as specified by central government. The next one is the cosmetic. It means any article intended to be sprayed, poured, rubbed or sprinkled on or introduced into or applied to the human body or its any part for cleansing, beautifying, promoting attractiveness or altering the appearance. It also includes any articles intended for use as a component of cosmetic. Next, Ayurvedic, Siddha or Unani drugs. This includes all medicines used for internal or external purposes or used in the diagnosis, treatment, mitigation or prevention of disease or disorder in human beings or animals and manufactured exclusively in accordance with the formula described in the authoritative books. Then homeopathic medicines, it includes any drugs recorded in homeopathic provings or the drugs whose therapeutic efficacy has been established through long clinical experience as recorded in authoritative homeopathic literature and which are prepared according to the techniques of homeopathic pharmacy. Next one is the misbranded drug. If it is not labeled in the prescribed manner or if it is so colored, coated, powdered or polished that damage is concealed or it is made to appear of better or greater therapeutic value than it really is. If the label or container or anything accompanying the drug bears any statement, these are the examples of misbranded drugs. First one avastatin, then botulinum, then metacalfin. Next one is augmentin. These are some examples of misbranded drugs. Next one is the adulterated drug. The drug is considered to be adulterated if it consists in whole or in part of any filthy, putrid, or decomposed substance. If it has been prepared, packed, or stored under poor sanitary conditions, whereby it may have been contaminated with filth and rendered injurious to health. These are some examples of adulteration. First one is the black pepper, which is adulterated by papaya seeds, and second one is the saffron. The safflower are used to adulterate the saffron, and in black pepper papaya seeds are mixed. Next one is the spurious drug. The drug is deemed to be spurious when if it is imported under a name which belongs to another drug, if it has been substituted wholly or in part by another drug substance, or if it claims to be product of a manufacturer or company of whom it is not truly a product. Next one is the new drug. A drug already approved by the licensing authority for certain claims, which is now proposed to be marketed with modified or new claims, namely indications, dosage form, and routes of administration, which including the sustained release dosage form. Next, misbranded cosmetic. If a cosmetic shall be deemed to be misbranded if it contains a color which is not prescribed, or if it is not labeled in prescribed manner, or if the label or container or anything accompanying the cosmetic bears any statement which is false or misleading. These are the examples of spurious drugs, misbranded cosmetics. First one is the brand sunscreen, broad spectrum SPF 10. These products have not been shown to protect against skin cancer and early skin aging. They have been shown only to help or prevent. Next one is spurious cosmetic. If it is imported under a name which belongs to another cosmetic, if the label or container bears the name of individual or company purporting to be manufacturer of the cosmetic, which individual or company is fictitious or does not exist. Next one is the import. The import word itself gives its mean that with its grammatical variations and cognate expressions means to bring into India. Import means to bring into India. Next one is the manufacture term. In relation to drug or cosmetic, any process fully or partly used for making, altering, ornamenting, finishing, packing, labeling, breaking off, or otherwise treating or adapting any drug, cosmetic with view to its sale or distribution, but does not include the compounding or dispensing of any drug or packing of any drug and cosmetic. Next one is the patent or proprietary medicine. In relation to Ayurvedic, Siddha, Unani system, all formulations containing only such ingredients mentioned in the formulae described in the authoritative books specified in the first schedule, but does not include a medicine which is administered by parenteral route, and also formulation included in the authoritative books listed in the first schedule. Next one is the government analyst, which means in relation to Ayurvedic, Siddha or Unani drug, a government analyst appointed by the central government or state government under section 33F, and in relation to any other drug or cosmetic, government analyst appointed by the central government or state government under section 20. Next one is the inspector. In relation to 9 Ayurvedic, Siddha or Unani drug, an inspector appointed by the central government or state government under section 33G, and in relation to any other drug or cosmetic, an inspector appointed by the central government or state government under section 21. The next topic is the schedules to the act. The first schedule, It comprises the list of books or references for Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani medicines. There are 57 books of Ayurveda. Then next one is the second schedule. It comprises of the standards to be complied with for imported drugs, manufacture of drugs, their sale and stocking and storage. Next one is the schedules to the rules. Type A, that is per forma for forms. B, rates of fee for the test or analysis by CDL or government analysis. C is the list of biological and special products. C1 is the list of biological and special products. D is the list of drugs that are exempted from the provisions of import. F, provisions applicable to the blood bank. Next one is the F1, that is special provision applicable to biological and special products. F2, standards for surgical dressing. F3, standards for umbilical types. FF, standards for ophthalmic preparations. G, use under medical supervision. H, list of substances that should be sold by retail only on the prescriptions of RMP, that is registered medical practitioner. J, list of diseases and ailments. Then K, list of drugs that are exempted from certain provisions regarding manufacture. M, requirements of manufacturing premises, GMP requirements, factory premises and plant equipments, that is M1, M2, M3. M1 is homeopathic medicines, M2 cosmetics, M3 includes the medical devices. N, the list of equipments. O, then P, life period of drug, that is expiry. Q, coal tar colors permitted to be used in the cosmetics. R, standard for mechanical contraceptives. R1, standard for medical devices. S, standard for cosmetics. Then T, GMP of factory premises for Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani. U, that is manufacturing and analytical records of drugs. Then X, list of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. Next one is the classes of drugs and cosmetics prohibited from import. Drugs or cosmetic which are not of standard qualities, which are misbranded, spurious, adulterated, and drugs and cosmetic for import of which license is required. Any patent without true formula or list of active ingredients and their quantities. Claims to prevent or cure diseases. Next one is the drugs exempted from provisions regulating the import of drugs are shown as follows, that is class of drugs and extent and conditions of exemption. Substances not intended for medical use, then ginger, pepper, cumin, cinnamon and all similar spices and condiments other than those of official quality. These are the exempted. Next one is the import under license or permit. Drugs specified in Schedule C and C1 excluding those specified in Schedule X. Drugs specified in Schedule X. Small quantities of drugs imported for examination. Drugs for personal use prescribed by registered medical practitioner or any other drug for which licensing authority will grant the permission. Next one is the drugs specified in Schedule C and C1 excluding those specified in Schedule X. License must have adequate facility for storage. Licensee must maintain a record. Licensee must allow an inspector to inspect premises and to check the records. Licensee must furnish the sample to the authority and must comply with undertaking given in the form. Number 9. Then drugs specified in Schedule X, a license is necessary. Licensee must have adequate facilities for storage. Then applicant must be reputable in the occupation, trade or business. The license granted ever before should not be suspended or cancelled. Then C, small quantities of drugs imported for examination, test or analysis, that is licensee. The conditions: first, license is necessary. Imported under license in Form 11. The licensee must use the imported drugs only. Then licensee must keep the record to the quantities, name of the manufacturer and date of the import. These are the conditions. Next, drug for personal use prescribed by the RMP. That is, the drug must be bona fide personal use. The quantity should be reasonable and covered by RMP prescriptions. The drug must be declared to the custom collector if so directed. More than 100 doses are imported with license applying in form number 12A and 12B. Any new drug. Next, conditions license is required. The licensee is required to provide the documents of standards of quality, purity and strength. These two conditions to be fulfilled for any new drug. That license is required and the licensee is required to provide the all documents of standard quality, purity and strength. Next one, the application and duration. An application for import license is made to licensing authority in form number 8 for drug excluding schedule X and in the form 8A for schedule X drugs. The license is issued. Both the import license and registration certificate are valid for a period of 3 years. Next one is the permitted places for import of drugs. First one is the by rail, second by road, third one is the by sea and fourth one is the by air. By rail, by road, by sea and by air. The import of drugs into India is permitted only from these places: rail, road, sea. Next one is the conditions of import license. Manufacturer shall observe undertaking given in form 9. Licensee should maintain a proper record of imported drugs. The importer should maintain all proper storage facilities. The importer should permit the inspector or officer on behalf of the state government or the central government without notice to inspect the premises. Other features of import, that is, no new homeopathic medicine can be imported without permission in writing from the licensing authority. The small quantities of a new drug may be permitted for import by government hospital or autonomous medical institution for the treatment of patients suffering from life-threatening diseases. Next, suspension and cancellation of import license or registration certificate. Suspension and cancellation of import license or registration certificate. If the manufacturer or licensee fails to comply with any condition of the registration certificate, the licensing authority may, after giving him an opportunity to show cause, may suspend or cancel the registration certificate for such period as it fit. Next one is offences and penalties. These are the offences in for the first conviction and for subsequent conviction. For an offence of any adulterated spurious drug, it imprisonment up to 3 years or fine up to 5,000 rupees, and for subsequent conviction, imprisonment up to 5 years or fine up to 10,000. And offences of adulterated or spurious drug for import of drugs or cosmetics, imprisonment up to 6 months or fine up to 500 rupees, and for subsequent conviction, imprisonment up to 12 month or fine up to 1000 rupees or both. For cosmetic, 3 years or fine up to 5,000. Next one is the manufacture of drugs. The manufacture in relation to any drugs includes any process or part of process for making, altering, finishing, packing, labeling, breaking up or otherwise treating or adopting any drug with a view to its sale and distribution, but does not include compounding or dispensing of any drug or packing of any drug in ordinary course of retail business. Next one is the prohibition of manufacture and sale of certain drugs. Any drug or cosmetic which is substandard, misbranded, adulterated or spurious, or any patent without clear indication of ingredients, any drug claiming for accurate cure or prevention of diseases listed in Schedule J, or any manufacturing formulation imported into our country. Then conditions for grant of all of licenses and conditions of for manufacture of drugs. A person who is interested in starting manufacture of drugs is required to fulfill several conditions laid down in DCA and rules. The conditions to be fulfilled before license is granted and collectively called as condition precedent, and conditions that are required to be fulfilled after the license is obtained for manufacturing is condition subsequent. The types of license are granted are manufacturing of drugs for examination, test or analysis, manufacture of new drug, manufacturing under loan licenses, license for repacking, license to manufacture of drugs other than Schedule C, C1 and Schedule X, license for manufacturing drugs belonging to Schedule X, Schedule C and Schedule C1. Next one is the manufacturing of drugs for examination, test or analysis. There are some conditions. Manufactured drugs should be kept in containers, and the drugs should be used for the purposes for which they are manufactured. When the material is supplied to other manufacturer, the label stating the name and address of the manufacturer, scientific name of the drug, license number, date of manufacturer should be provided. Manufacture of new drug. In addition to provision for manufacture of drugs, there should be documentary evidence for quality, purity and therapeutic trials of new drugs and evidence for approval under Schedule Y. Then manufacturing under low licenses who does not have his own arrangement for the manufacturing but wishes to avail the manufacturing facility owned by another licensee for Schedule C, C1, X. Then conditions to the general conditions applicable. First one, the application must be supported by the parent firm. Drug inspector inspects the premises of parent firm and checks and assess the spare capacity. Loan license is required to test each batch of raw materials and finished products. The production must be supervised by competent person of loan license. Next, the license for repacking. There are some conditions. Repacking should be supervised by competent person. Adequate space and equipment should be provided. Hygienic conditions of working should always be maintained. There should be adequate arrangement for testing of sample. Then the container or package of repacked should include RPG license number. Next, license to manufacture of drugs other than C, C1 and Schedule X. Conditions. Factory premises shall comply with conditions laid down in the Schedule M. Manufacture shall be conducted under active supervision of competent technical staff. Licensee must allow an inspector to inspect the premises. Next, license to manufacture of biological and special products. There are some conditions. All Schedule C drugs must be issued in previously sterilized sealed glass of other suitable containers. All containers should comply with the Schedule F or F1. Drug must be comply with the standards specified in the Schedule F. Next, manufacturing of drugs belonging to Schedule X. A license is obtained from licensing authority on the application in prescribed form number 27B with prescribed fees. If conditions are fulfilled, then license is issued in the prescribed form number 28B. Conditions. The general condition applicable to other than Schedule C, Schedule C1 and Schedule X. Special conditions. Account of all transactions regarding manufacture should be maintained in a serially bound and page register as follows. This should be prescribed for 5 years. Accounts of drug used in manufacture, account of production, amount of manufactured drug. Manufacturer is required to send the copies of invoice of sale of drugs to licensing authority every 3 months. Preparation should be labeled as X or X in red ink. These are the assignment questions. It is write a short note on loan license, what are the misbranded drugs, what are adulterated drugs, what are spurious drugs, discuss the rule relating to the import of drugs as per the DNC Act, classes of drugs prohibited to sell, define manufacture of drugs. Thank you.